Did you hear that?
That was good.
Yes.
Woo! Woo! All right, welcome everybody. My name is Richard Tejeda. I'm the founder and executive director of a nonprofit organization called Saved by Nature. Today we'll be going on a walk at Santa Teresa Springs and on into an historic ranch. We'll be kind of going along, and I'll be discussing things along the way, taking you on this virtual trip.
Well, we got that.
So that there is a red shoulder hawk, and it's in this big valley oak tree that's right behind us in this neighborhood, and we're very close to a neighborhood. We're going to be going on a nature historic walk. It's a very interesting place that I wanted to bring you to because it has a lot of history and cool things to see. It's also ADA accessible with the decomposed granite trail, which is also an interpretive science as well. And so we'll be looking at learning about the Rancho history here. I just played the Cherokee Native American flute. It's a great way to start off the program. It's very relaxing sound. I am about 70% Spanish, and I'm also 30% Native American, I recently found out, which is really cool because I've been playing the Native American flute for a few years now and wearing this Native American necklace without knowing my ancestral connection. Let's just go on a nice nature walk. It's a beautiful day here in South San Jose with lots of birds out right here before spring, and probably see some nice things, starting with this beautiful spring that I'm going to be showing you, but I also want to show you where it comes in and goes kind of, I guess, underground here. And so let me start with that. I did bring my historic book of Ranchos because I do want to show you the historic layout of this ranch, because we are at Santa Teresa County Park, but it was known as Rancho Santa Teresa, and this was where the homestead was at, and it was all because of this spring that was here. And so let me show you. And I just found this rock to prop this up against, and it's actually a perfect shape and size for a grinding rock. Let me show you. So here on the floor, as I'm walking around, I'm seeing a lot of acorns. And so here's one here. So I'm going to grab this acorn. I'm going to use this rock I found right here on the floor. Just break that open. And that acorn is really, really dry, right? But there would be some nice meal inside, and we can find one with some meal. These might be from last year. Also dry. And so anyhow, and so the area has lots of oak trees, as we can see. I found this perfect little, damn, I really can't keep it though. But anyhow, I'm gonna leave it here. But it's really cool because it's a perfect size to grind acorns. And so anyhow, we have this park we're about to enter, and it has the COVID-19 social distancing things. But this is that spring I was telling you about. And this is where it kind of comes to the street here. So we're gonna go investigate the source of this spring. And you're looking at this spring, and you may not think much of it at this point, but it was actually the reason why this whole area was settled, because the Bernal family was able to settle here because this spring runs year round. And that's the cool thing about it. It's a beautiful day.
What's the name of the park again?
So this is Santa Teresa County Park, and this is a specific part of the park called, well, it's like Joyce Bernal Ranch we're gonna go to, but right here is this specific part is called Santa Teresa Springs. And it's a cool little meandering trail here, and it has interpretive signs. And so, yeah, let's check this out. So it's right butted up against the neighborhood here, the boundary of this section. Which allows us to bring in here virtually because we have internet connection. And on the floor here is just tons of acorns that have been rolling down off of the trees. So this area of, as you may or may not know, was first occupied by our first peoples, the Native Americans. And that was their staple, food source, was these acorns that they ground into a meal to make different foods after leaching the tannins out, which is a cool process. And we have a workshop that we do where we teach people how to make acorn bread and cookies. So here we're gonna be coming up onto this, onto the Santa Teresa Springs. And I'm gonna be, instead of, just like, I'm gonna be using the interpretive displays, which are a great resource for us. Here we have some, California Blackberry along the pond. But let's check out this pond, which is made by the spring. So on the logs, you'll see turtles, which may mainly are non-native, but there may be some Western pond turtles, like native species in here. I think there's one across the way. Let's see if we can zoom in on it. See if you can see a turtle shell over there. Try to hold it still. See the turtle?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's one turtle. Try to back up this a little. Turtle there on the log. There's another turtle over here. I think they may just be red ear sliders, but they're still cool wildlife. And the hope is for this area is that they can restore it to a natural state where you'll have red-legged frogs and Western pond turtles. And so keep looking on the log there, because it's going to slip off fairly quick once we put to the left of that duck. There's another turtle right in the center of the screen. So I'm going to get closer, back the screen up just a little, but it may take off on us as we get closer. See his long neck. Just set this here.
There he is.
And if it's a red ear slider, you'll see a red spot on the back of its, by its ear, if you would. And so let's look, see how close we can get. Just zoom in here. Tell me if you see a red spot. And I'll review this video later to see exactly what turtle we have here. And I do have my binoculars. So let me see if I can use my binoculars to see if we're looking at a native turtle, which would be really cool. My binoculars are too, oh no, there we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a red ear slider. Using my binoculars, I can see the red spot and the stripes on its neck. But you have to wait for it to turn its head just right, and then the sun will hit it just right, and you'll see the red spot. But anyhow, nice turtle.
Yep.
Are you guys ready? So it says, the Santa Teresa Spring, a reliable source of fresh spring water, attracted people to settle here for hundreds of years. So the Ohlone people lived here because the spring never ended. A retired Spanish soldier Jose Joaquin Bernal settled here and built his rancho to take advantage of the life-giving water in an often drought-ridden country. So Jose Joaquin Bernal, he was part of the 1776 Juan Bautista de Anza expedition that everybody knows about. And so this is where he settled. And this is the property that was given, which will be talking a little bit more about that, about how he was given this property during the, after the Hidalgo Treaty, which was giving people Spanish land grants. And so he was given this land grant. There's a turtle making its way across the pond right now, but people really see it. He's right in the center over here. He's swimming across. Might be able to see its head. All right. So the land was, used in different ways. Like the Santa Teresa Spring Water Company was here by one of Bernal's sons. Santa Teresa Springs. All right, and so this was, they bottled the water, but they did other things here as well. But let's go up to the spring and look at that, okay? So the spring has been, it still runs, but it has been blocked off for people's protection, so people don't, fall into the spring and things like that. So we're gonna walk up to it. And then we're gonna read a little bit more about the cool history. And this is what intrigued me about the area. A few things actually, some of the geology, but also some of the history. And so, like for example, over here was the statue that was stolen, but there was a statue that sat right on here, and there's a photo of it that we'll be looking at. And then the spring itself runs down here, right? And the spring itself is over here. And so it actually reminds me, because I was just at Alum Rock Park, and it actually reminds me of the grotto. So that is a grotto. A grotto is a stone feature that's built around a spring. Believed to travel from the Sierra Mountains via underground rivers. Fresh, maybe even magical water continuously seeps from this hillside formation of hard gray sandstone. And according to Hispanic folklore passed down orally and printed for newspapers in the 1930s, local Indians became sick, possibly from painting their bodies with red mercury containing cinnabar. And so this is the cool thing. Like, so if you look at this picture right here, this is really cool. Okay, so let's get the picture and then I'll read the story. It's a pretty cool picture. And so After a failed attempt to placate the Great Spirit, Ohlone Chief Umunum, which means resting place of the hummingbird, and also named after Mount Umunum, gathered everyone at their meeting place of the gigantic rock. Umunum shot an arrow with the feather tied to it into the sky as a final request for help. A woman in flying black robes appeared and touched the rock with a silver cross. Water gushed from the rock, and the woman motioned the Indians to drink from the bath, bathe, and bathe in the stream. The sick were cured. And so here's the statue that was once there, and Bernal actually had a like a party for his mother, and in 1925, one of the fathers came, and actually it was blessed by the Pope, the statue that was brought from Rome in honor of his mother. And so it was just like a shrine, and so that was all here. Unfortunately, it's not there any longer. Somebody took it. But anyways, this is a cool thing, I mean, I can see down there. There's a lot of water down there. It's pretty cool. So that is full of different minerals, and minerals are good for your body if you didn't know. So like when we process water, we strip down the water, like the water companies strip down the water and they replace it with minerals and things like that. But there's minerals in water that are very, that we need as humans to bathe in these minerals. Like mammoths would come from thousands of miles to bathe in the Guadalupe River because the minerals, and they would drink the water because the minerals, they help them grow. It was part of their life cycle. Well, we don't get to do those things anymore. We don't get to bathe in these mineral-rich places. We don't get to drink these mineral-rich waters. So perhaps the sick, just by them bathing and drinking this water that's so rich in minerals and nutrients, maybe that is what helped them. Who knows? And again, the water is thought to come from the Sierra Nevada, which is snow melt. And if you didn't know, like water travels through gravity and it's all headed towards the ocean, and us being in the coastal range and the Sierra Nevada being up there, the water can easily move through underground aquifers, like big, like oceans, right? There's more water underground than there is above. And eventually will make its way here. And the way they know that is that they put dye in the water in the Sierra Nevada and found that same dye coming in people's wells in the Santa Cruz Mountains, which is pretty amazing. And so
It really is.
Perhaps there's a scientific reason of the healing of the Native Americans. A lot of people don't even know this place is here. So when I found it and read about it, I thought it was really cool just having that history, and also knowing that Bernal was one of the biggest ranchos here. And I'll show you a picture of that ranch, a historic map. So here's a wheelchair accessible area here. And so the bear and bullfights of the Spanish era. So I am wearing my Native American necklace, and I'm also wearing my rosary because I'm a full made all my sacraments as a Catholic, right? And so the bear and bullfights were really ferocious and kind of, I mean, they were cruel, but they drew people from all around. And it was basically where they put a grizzly bear, because the California grizzly bear was, which is now extinct, was in this area in the Santa Cruz Mountains. The last grizzly bear in the area was about 1896, I believe, something like that. And so anyways, they would get the bull, right? These Spanish big bulls, and they would put them against a grizzly bear and have them fight to the death while people got around and watched these fights, and so they would tie them to a big oak tree and let them go at it. And it was they were outlawed by the U.S. government shortly after California entered the Union. And so anyhow, that was pretty interesting. Let me give you a close up on that. Really ferocious. And then here is Bernal Hacienda at Santa Teresa. So this is where we're at. This is what it looked like. I have some other map, but this is a very good map of the layout. And we're going to go investigate some of these buildings. So this is Bernal Hacienda, and Bernal was the original owner of the area. And he ran a lot of cattle, because during this time, there was a lot of cattle, and they were into like things like tallow, making candles. The ships would come over in the Santa Cruz Bay, or even Alviso area, or even up the Guadalupe River. Ships would make it, and they would gather the tides, the tallow, milk, meat, beef, and they would load it up on these ships, and they would take it up north. By the time of his death, Jose Joaquin Bernal, he had 13 children, and extended family of 78 dependents occupied the Rancho property. That's such a
Wow.
cool dream of mine. You know, and he processed about 5,000 hides every year, which is pretty impressive. So he must have had, 20,000. I don't want to say, but he must have thousands of cattle head out here in these hills that we'll be showing you shortly. So let's make our way down this trail nice and slow. I'll keep my eye out for any wildflowers. I do have my wildflower guide. As I walk, I hear different types of birds. I want you to see if you can hear them. And so the ranch houses to the left, we just came from the Santa Teresa Spring. So we'll be doing that. There's some beautiful oaks around the area. Nice oak landscape. Lots of birds. Bridge here. Some kind of seep comes through here. Kind of seep. Sometimes you'll get different types of wildflowers. I can see the bases of wildflowers that are going to be coming out this season. Beyond cattle and farming. So after the cattle and farming, they began to do like this type of like shell mining, if anything. Kids, were well-traveled and educated, hard workers. They learned about shell mining in England on his travels, one of his descendants. And so 8 men worked the limestone quarry. So different uses throughout time. They have a lot of ideas with 87 descendants.
Mhm.
So this one talks about the farming and the cattle ranching, and also the time of the Valley of Heart's Delight. And so, it went from a gold rush type era to, that is a big mound. Actually, oh, that's a big mound of hay. And then also to the, where they recognized that, times were changing, and this area was known as the Valley of Heart's Delight. And so, so this whole area from Santa Teresa to Edenville, they owned a huge amount of area. And even all the way to the cattle ranch, the Marshall Cattle Ranch. And so it was just, the area is just historically rich in many ways. And they just kind of went with the times and were trying to make a living, if anything. And a lot of people went for the gold rush, but then a lot of other people made money off of the gold rush and about supplying supplying canned foods for the gold rush. The sister trees.
Yep.
Couple valley oaks, deciduous, meaning that they lose their leaves. These ones in the fall, and they'll be getting them back here in the spring. Now they're already getting them back. Let's go check it out. And so evergreen trees like these oaks over here, those are coast live oaks, and they stay green all year round. With these valley oaks here, they're deciduous, and they don't stay green all year round. They lose their leaves around or when it gets cold and stuff. And so we see that they're starting to get them back already here. Oh, I hear. What do you hear that? Do you hear that? Okay, hold on. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. Keep listening. There it is. You're gonna hear. There's an acorn woodpecker right up here.
Oh.
He's right on top of the tree. There's two actually now, and you'll hear him. I'll tell you when they make a call. Hold on. Oh, there's another one. Okay. I'm going to show you the bird guide. So show you some of the birds. There's a few. Oh, there's one. See, did you see it? Okay. He's right above my head. Let me see if I can zoom in just so you can just at least see a glimpse. Let's see if you can see it. Where's it at? Oh, there's another one over here. Hold on. Okay, he's on the fat branch. It has different birds from small to big. Earlier, when I said that we saw the we heard the red-shouldered hawk. We have different types of hawks, the red-tailed, red-shoulder, and this is the one that we were hearing right here, the red-shouldered hawk. And then the acorn woodpecker is right here. There's about 2 or 3 above my head right now, and they love the acorns. So you can see the acorns here. There's a big acorn hat. The Valley Oak has the biggest acorns. So we'll see if we can find that acorn. Oh, here's one right here. The size of the acorns are the one that we were cracking earlier. Hi. So they love these acorns. They're like their food. They'll make acorn granaries with those and stuff. So let's keep going. This is the bird guide. I have different guides on me today. I have the butterfly guide, the track guide, and I also have the wildflowers of the area here. So we use these guides along on our hikes, especially on our wildflower hike, and to identify different species and animals and things. Get my stuff together here with the trail. All right. Acorn woodpeckers, there he is. He's a big show off. See if I can get a good glimpse. So I was on the right side, if anything, because now the sun's on the wrong side. Okay, you can see the acorn holes. Cool, you can see the houses. It has a lot of houses. Never seen so many houses, actually. Let me show you. Okay, so the sun is on the wrong side. So those are the holes in the homes of where they live. Those big holes.
Right.
On the tree. There's a bunch of different birds in this valley oak. Just home to so many. Park's a nice haven for birds. Let's head on into this historic place. Welcome to the ranch. Here's the heritage. This is the original map that they drew back then, and this was for the governor, and this was petitioning the governor, and they would just draw, you know, boundaries of mountains and riverways and creeks and say that's all mine. They would submit it and be given. It was more of a thank you for serving in the war. The owl box over there on the back of that building. California Blackberry and some ceanothus. Cool. So here we have some blue blossom or ceanothus, and you can put some water on your hands, rub that, and that's what the Native Americans use. That's their soap. Really good lather, has nice exfoliation on it, you know. And then over here we have the California blackberries. These are going to be coming out this summer. I love eating those. Make some nice blackberry a bush. Oh, actually, this is Himalayan blackberry. Sorry, but it's the same. You know, kind of a little sweeter. Has 5 leaves, and so that's Himalayan blackberry. You can still make blackberry pie. It's a little sweet. I like sometimes to mix the two, but I like the California blackberry better actually. What's that? Is that a bird? Yeah, it was a bird. A mockingbird. Look at him. Came in all heated right now. Is that mockingbird? Mockingbird. Here, making so many sounds. Oh, there's another one. Look at this one sitting on there. This is more like some kind of towhee or oh, it just flew off. Yeah, they're out and about, these birds. Nests and eggs, building nests, finding materials. Oh, what's this? Maybe that's a cattle launch, huh? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
For
Oh,
loading them onto trucks or something.
Nice. Oh, yeah, look at rattlesnakes. Oh, that's what it's a rattlesnake loader. No. Yeah, definitely probably for horse or cattle or cows. That's the main building over there. We'll probably go. A lot of things are closed down, like you can't access them right now, but we'll get close as we can. Barns and outbuildings, year-round operation. Well, that's pretty cool. Nice historic photo. I love historic photos. Lots of horses. I was looking to see if I see that loading. Chicken coops. Oh, yeah, there's a chicken coop over here. I'll take you guys to the chicken coop right now. Different types of tools, mainly for the soil or tilling. This stuff is like, this stuff's made to last. I mean, you can boil that up and use it right now. That's what's so cool
Look
about
at those grinding wheels. Wow.
it. Yeah, look at those.
The stones.
Yeah, grinding stones. That's for tools, right? For sharpening tools, you think?
No, it's for grinding. Well, they could have ground the acorns, but for grinding wheat and making flour.
A little nice little bird. I think I could bust out the bird guide and we could try to identify that little bird right there. This must be for like hay and things.
Yep.
I like, I mean, I have questions too. I mean, I know some things, but I don't know it all. And so that's why I like investigating with you guys, trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, the long tines are kind of like for winnowing. They make the long rows before they bale it or lob it up into the wagons.
Look at the wheel on that thing. Yeah, that wheel's never gonna break. I mean, let's go see if we can find an owl pallet outside of this owl box. So then we got to look directly below it. Sometimes you'll just see the white spot. I'm not seeing any.
There might be teachers getting there to them before you.
I know. Yeah, I'm not seeing any. Sometimes we get lucky. Oh, there's a little window. It's caged off, but oh, score. You know what that is?
Nope.
Barn owl feather.
Oh.
Yeah. So there is. I told you I'm blind as a bat. There's probably one down there. So there are barn owls here. Ooh, yeah. I like this little saying right here. It's kind of cliche for John Meredith. But it's in every walk with nature, one receives far more than one seeks. Good old John Mayer.
Mm.
And so this is what leading up into the hills where the cattle would have been at. It's just a sliver of a much bigger park. So right now we're checking out the Bernal Ranch. Let's go over to the chicken coop. Says there's mountain lions in the area.
Oh, they have chickens.
I mean, yeah, chickens are definitely going to be, there's probably a lot of chickens here on the farm, you know. This is the Santa Clara County Ranchos. This is like all of the ranchos in our area. So you have like the San Jose airport and stuff, and those areas around there, like Rancho Stack, which is now a park, and Rancho San Vicente, Rancho Las Uvas, all these places that we know today. Here's Gilroy down over here. But I'm trying to find Rancho Santa Teresa. We keep going. We see that it's here. That's right here, Rancho Santa Teresa. And we see that this rancho extended all the way to Coyote Creek and all the way to Los Alamitos before hooking up with Pueblo Track 1. And Pueblo Track 1 was actually a pueblo. It was an area just reserved for food for the people that lived in San Jose, the first pueblo. The first people that lived in San Jose lived in a pueblo, and they had different pueblo tracks around. Those were designated just for food, and that's where they would plant their food for the pueblo. And then that was butted up against Rancho Santa Teresa, which ran all the way to Coyote Creek. And so it was a huge tract. And then they started parceling that off, including the Cottle family, the Marshall Cottle family, which today is Marshall Cottle County Park, bought some of this land. And so, yeah, so anyway, it was a huge place at one time. It was Santa Teresa foothills. I see some yellow over there. Little restoration area here. Some wetlands. Here for mountain lions. I never encountered a mountain lion. Whoa. Cattle used to be on the valley floor, right? And then when agriculture became so booming, all the cattle got pushed to the mountains. So that's why you see cattle in the hills all the time, because we built homes and we converted everything to agriculture. But at one time, they were predominantly all over the valley floor. So anyhow. What is this? Some wild grape right here or something. It's definitely a vine, so it could be wild grape, but I got to look into that.
Or wild cucumber.
Got some wild poison oak.
I'm glad it's that far away.
Leave the tree, let it be. If it's shiny, watch your hiney. The other one. Yeah, so yeah, it's mainly rock. So it's a lot of serpentinite rock, but a lot of that sandstone, and that sandstone is what makes this area like so porous, like a big sponge. Lots of poison oak out this year because we had a lot of rain. Woo, look at this one. Just pure red. Pure evil. We got some oak gall, which was used as a fishing bobber. And there's it's a oak wasp gall.
Is that like one of those apple galls?
Exactly. Well, yes, but the apple galls are red sometimes, and those are different species. And then we have some California buckeye, fresh, nice. Beautiful leaves. fresh leaves on here. They just got their leaves back. Some coyote brush you can find everywhere, coyote brush. We got a little bit of view here. Looking back to, oh, okay, that's Kaiser Hospital, Santa Teresa. And then we're gonna be over, I'm trying to get us to where I can show you. Oh, okay, let me walk up here and I'll show you where we're gonna be next month at our next wildflower hike. It's a really cool spot. It's gonna be over to the right of Lick Observatory. So Lick Observatory is right here on the Diablo Range. So we're gonna be up over in this area on that mountain. I'll be taking you guys virtually to see the wildflowers.
Looking forward to it.
Nice view of South San Jose, looking back towards downtown area.
You're coming up on an hour, Richard. That's would be a good spot to sign off with a view in the background.
Cool. Let's make it up to this. Looks like this rusted wagon or something. See if we can make it up there.
Okay.
Hi, Richard.
Yes.
We're in Toronto and we're really enjoying the greenery that you're showing us. One of our residents asked if there's any winemaking in the area.
Absolutely. You know, we have lots of vineyards in South County, in Gilroy, and some in lots in the Santa Cruz Mountains here. So yeah, absolutely. We have that rich soil here in the Santa Clara Valley, which is from the erosion from the surrounding mountains. So these mountains erode this rich soil into the valley floor. And also we have lots of rivers and creeks. So that's why you hear about Napa River wine, right? And all this stuff. It's because when those rivers flood, they deposit these rich nutrients and river soil and stuff, and then people grow grapes there, and they're really rich and stuff, have lots of water source. And so yeah, so it's all connected. So beautiful valley oak. Look at this beautiful species. And it looks like sour grass underneath. I'm gonna eat some sour grass real quick before we leave. Let me sign off with some sour grass. So I like sour grass. I don't know if you like sour grass. I'm just gonna pick some little bit of sour grass. That's this nice little base. Looks like a little clover. Let me turn this around.
Oxalic.
Take my mask off.
I hope that's not addictive.
You know, no, not too. Okay. Let me put this down here.
Not good for people who are prone to kidney stones.
There we are.
Looks like
All right, there I am.
solace.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much. For joining us. We're just getting warmed up for the year. We have a whole year planned of virtual programs at different locations, different places, different topics and things. But ultimately, it's just about getting you outdoors, for a quick minute, and for you to enjoy the rest of your day and things like that. So this is some sour grass, and it's really good where you can just I like to just chew it.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
And then I don't really swallow it. I just like the juice in it, and it's really sweet. I call it sour grass. And I remember as a kid, enjoying some sour grass on the way to or from school in the morning, And so anyhow, I hope you enjoyed today's walk at Santa Teresa County Park, checking out the Santa Teresa Springs, learning about the history, and also just learning about some of the cattle ranching that went on here and checking out this ranch. And I hope you just enjoyed just listening to the sounds and seeing some of these beautiful landscapes and things, And again, join us next month at the preserve. Anything,
Okay.
John?
That's great,
Thank you
man.
so
Thanks
much,
very much.
Richard. Thank you.
Zoe. Thank you, everybody, again for
Thank
joining
you.
us for
Take
joining
care,
us from
everybody.
Toronto.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.